Hey guys, and welcome back to another Cultured Boys discussion. I'm Pepe, and I'm joined by Nathan. And today we're getting super cultured. You know why? Because we're going to be talking about Japan. Not just Japan, but the Cultured Boys' trip to Japan and our experiences of the country itself. And let's just talk about everything we've experienced. You good for that, Nate?
はい。皆さん、はじめまして。Cultured Boy です。お元気ですか?
Okay.
That's about the extent of my Japanese.
That's the most authentic Japanese you're gonna get in this fucking episode, I'll tell you that. But yeah. So just a little background for the Cultured Boys. We went to Japan in 2019 in about May time.
Yes.
And like both of us have been to Japan before then, but this is like the Culture Boys going across, and we had a few other people with us as well.
Yes.
But like, yeah, this is both our second trip to Japan.
It was. And besides that, like, small tangent, we both finally decided, we talked about this trip on and off in episodes for so long, we might as well just make an episode about it.
Yeah. I mean, like, by no means are we like sort of like, there's so many people that you can find on YouTube and that actually live in Japan, or like abroad in Japan, for example. Like,
shout out to Chris Broad. God, I love that channel.
These channels, like, obviously they live out there, they like showcase the amazing range of stuff that's out in Japan. But we experienced non-stop 2 weeks of the place. We visited a few different cities while we were there, a few different parts of Tokyo. I've been to a couple places in my first trip to Japan that you haven't, and I think vice versa as well, if I'm correct.
I might have, but I think mostly you've been everywhere that I've been by this point.
Yeah. Like, it's like roughly, I think there's a couple places that like one of us has been to, the other hasn't.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. But yeah, God, how do we want to start this then? God, there's so many places we could start off with. Like, we could start with Tokyo.
Yeah, that's where we started. That's where we started the trip. But our first couple of days in Tokyo were pretty like standard though, weren't it? Like, we didn't. I don't remember us doing much besides the sumo exhibition thing.
Yeah, like we so a couple different places we went to. First day we went to Nakano Broadway.
Yes. Oh, Nakano Broadway is amazing. Oh, that place is so cool.
I feel like we explored a lot of Nakano Broadway, but also not a lot of it at all.
So what I can say is, turns out we explored all of the upstairs, which is like all the storefronts, the secondhand stores. What we missed when we went downstairs is we actually went the wrong direction.
Okay.
When we went downstairs, we walked through the market.
Yeah, there's a lot of foodstuffs there.
Yeah, the other way would have been all the restaurants and the food.
Oh, okay.
And Nakano Broadway has, not that I would have bought it, not that any of us would have bought it, but we missed out on the chance to go to that a famous ice cream place. Like, it's well known on the internet because they've got loads of flavors. It's also, you've probably seen it, Pepe. Pictures of people with just an insanely tall ice cream.
Oh, okay.
That's where you can buy it.
Ah, okay.
Nakano Broadway, downstairs, there's some ice cream place that's got, I think, something like 10 different flavors, and it's all soft serve, you know, like
yeah,
the 99p machine like thing, the Mr. Whippies or soft serve. And yeah, you can just buy a cone, I think that's got like 10 to 20 scoops or something. So like they just put, and it's basically like you hold this thing and you have to hold it down by your waist because it's so fucking tall.
But like, how do you even finish that?
I don't know, but people have. And I'm kind of bummed we missed out on the chance of that. I think there's also a Gindako down there. So, you know, takoyaki. Always down for some takoyaki.
Man. Yeah. I feel like I got takoyaki in the most random places in Japan.
I didn't. I always got it from a Gindako. Like, pretty much. Like the one right next to, Don Quixote in Akihabara. I've eaten there several times.
Oh yeah, I think you got that first, and I was like, I might get one. But there's also that next to that Don Quixote was what was it, that steak skewer place, which is selling Kobe steak on skewers for like 3,000 yen per.
No, it was like 1,100 per skewer.
Was it? How much? Okay, I must have bought just 2.
You just remember that because you bought 1 for me and 2 for you.
I did. That's definitely because I could not get enough of it.
That's why you remember the price like that.
That's where all my money went in 2019. started off in Tokyo and then we ended up in Tokyo again. So we like sort of visited a few other places and came back to Tokyo. I know for a fact that on my last day, I spent a lot of my money just on steak skewers.
They were good though.
They were so good.
And they were Wagyu.
Yeah, man. Like, it was one of those ones where I need more of this. And it was so, like...
The funny thing is, before me and Pepe went there on the last day, I discovered them, I think 2 days before. I was exploring Akihabara for a little bit by myself, and I got hungry, and I happened to walk past and see it, and went, Wagyu skewer for 1,100? I'd be stupid to say no, because if you went 1-to-1, the equivalent for the UK would be essentially a bit of Wagyu for £11. And in the UK, that's cheap.
Yeah, that's for Wagyu. You wouldn't. If someone told me Wagyu for £11 in the UK, I'd be like, "That's not fucking Wagyu." You're lying on that. I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
I've been to restaurants where I paid £40 for Wagyu, and I'm like, that ain't fucking Wagyu. Or it's low quality Wagyu if it is.
Yeah, I've been to restaurants where I paid like 50 quid for Wagyu, and it's like a couple of tiny strips. You're like, are you sure that's not bacon? That looks like bacon to me. But this was Wagyu for 11 quid, and it was quite chunky cuts. Of even low grade was still better than most high grade normal beef I've eaten.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that was just like, that was so good. Tokyo was it was just like just covering off a lot of different things, or as much as we could when we were there.
Pretty much.
Like, so we hit up the typical places that you would go if you're in Tokyo, like Asakusa, Shibuya, Shinjuku,
Harajuku, Ikebukuro for Sunshine City.
I think those are the main key places. I think we probably did go others as well. I don't think we hit up Ginza. The people we were with were in Ginza, but we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't. We went to Weep Haven. We were cultured.
Yeah.
Me and Pepe spent a lot of time in Akihabara.
Like, that was a thing where we're just like, yeah, we're gonna be in Akihabara now, and that, like, we spent like a good day there, I think, right? On our last day.
We did pretty much. I think we went there at like 11 and we left at like 4 or 5 p.m. No.
Yeah.
I think a little bit earlier than that, but we
maybe a little bit earlier, but
basically spent a whole day there.
We did all we could there because we've been to Aki once before as well.
Yes.
On that holiday. So it's not like we were like, oh, let's just spend the whole day in Aki and then just do everything. No, we went there before and then we went there again. And we hit up like, was there a mandarake in Aki?
Yes. I think we did that the first time we went there though, and we went to the huge one near the station, the one that's like 8 floors or something, but it's also kind of sketchy coming out because it's basically down the fire escape, and it's just some like there's just some like metal wiring or something, you know, like metal mesh stopping you from falling. You're like, this isn't going to stop me from falling to my death. It
felt like you weren't supposed to leave that way, but it was. It was just a very strange way to exit.
It's either that or you wait for the typical Japanese lift that basically fits like 2 people.
Yeah, and we were 5 of us there, so we were like, nah, let's just go.
Yeah, let's just get the stairs.
Yeah.
The dangerous stairs on the outside of the building.
But we hit up a few different places in Aki. We hit up a few different traders as well. That was like that's an exciting thing. I always love going to the traders.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Akihabara is, really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those secondhand stores, the big old glass cabinets you've seen that's got everyone's figures and it's owned by a person, they set the price or whatever, and you just go up to the counter with a piece of paper where you wrote down the name, the location, and then that's it. Like, and how much it costs, and they go and get it for you. But even that in itself was cool as fuck, because sometimes you see things that aren't necessarily always in the stores.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like every time I get nostalgic about Japan, there's always things that I feel like, because I buy a lot in traders when I'm over there. I'll be like, there's always like these retro games which you won't be able to get in the UK.
Yeah.
Or that are like in box with the Japanese artwork and stuff. I'm like, I want that. And I always come out of traders with something. But then I always feel like when I get nostalgic, I'm like, oh, I really should have bought this instead. Or I really should have got a copy of this.
See, that's how I feel about, because we also went into Super Potato. Do you remember that super famous like retro store?
Yeah.
And I regret not buying every Medabots game I saw in there.
God, Medabots game, I forgot about them.
Do you remember? There's like 12 of them or something, and they were like 500 yen each.
Yeah.
But that was like at the start of our holiday, so I didn't know how much money I had to spend.
That's the one thing at the start as well. We were very much precious about our money. Like, oh no, I want to try it. I want to save it for something that you know you really want. And granted, we did find those things. It's not like we were like, oh my god, I've got so much money left over because I didn't buy anything. There were things we definitely spent. I spent a lot of money on that trip, just on things.
I spent a lot of money on that trip.
Yeah, I think we.
We'll get to my most expensive purchase. Oh, I can't not mention that.
Yeah, go on, man.
We've already talked about yours in a previous
Yeah.
episode as well.
If you haven't watched one of the previous episodes,
The 2021 wrap up.
2021 wrap up, yeah. My most expensive purchase was in the Skytree Pokemon Center, and it was a Raikou jacket. And I do not regret my decision. It was a very good Raikou jacket, but it was also very pricey.
Yep.
But yeah, that's my one. What was yours, Nate? Go on.
Mine was of equal value, I believe, or almost equal value.
Mm-hmm.
The final day in Akihabara, where we walked into that store and saw those. Do you remember I bought us those boxes of Pokemon cards because they were the shiny ones?
Yeah, they were like shiny GX cards. They were limited edition at the time.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a shiny. Is it a shiny guaranteed?
I don't think it was guaranteed, but like.
No, it's a GX guaranteed in each pack. That's what it was.
Yeah, and you were like, you had the potential to get a bunch of shiny Pokemon, and these cards were like, at the time, they were like the rarest cards in the Japanese set, right?
Mm-hmm.
We found a place that happened to be selling them, and they had boxes of them. And it was our final day. Literally, we were like going to fly out the next day or something. So I walked in there and I walked up to the guy and I asked him how much is a box. And he told me. And so Pepe's standing there watching me thinking, oh, I'm just going to get a box for myself and split it or something, or he's going to watch me open these packs. And I go to the guy, give me 2 boxes. Pepe is obviously standing there kind of confused, like, geez, how much money are you spending? I get it. And then I hand Pepe a box. I go, here you go, mate. I bought us both a box.
I'll be forever grateful for Nathan for buying me a box of those fucking cards. I think that's like one of the reasons why I also bought you a skewer to like sort of like a meat skewer to be kind of making up for it a little bit, because I was like, mate, you didn't have to. It's a skewer.
All I will say is, at the time, if it was a 1-to-1, £1 for 100 yen, I spent £200.
Yeah, it is a lot, and
I didn't realize that until about a year later when I came home.
Yeah, it's like one of those ones where it's like at the time we were very invested in the Pokemon cards when we were out there.
Oh god, we bought so many Pokemon cards that trip.
Like if we had like a spare, like what was it, 300 yen or something, that I'll buy a pack of Pokemon cards. Like,
but that's because if you go into a Pokemon Center, they sell them for like £1.
Yeah.
Whereas over here, if you try to buy a packet of Pokemon cards, you're probably spending £2 or £3 for one packet.
It's £5 for a pack of Pokemon cards.
Is it?
These days here? Yeah, £5.
Jesus, is it? Oh my god! No wonder why we bought so many.
It is expensive, yeah. Because like, and granted, we bought loads of the Detective Pikachu ones because at the time Detective Pikachu had just released in cinemas. So I think if I went through all my Pokemon card collection from Japan right now, I know for a fact there's going to be like cubes of these Pokemon cards that we had. Some of them are going to be rarer than others, but the Detective Pikachu cards, I think we had a few doubles in that because we were just trying to collect them all because we could.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we did collect all the Detective Pikachu cards, the whole set.
I feel like that is the main point of us collecting Pokemon cards on that trip. It's because we could.
It is that literally.
They were cheap and it was just spending pocket change, literally pocket change.
Yeah.
We would literally reach into our pockets and be like, oh, I got like 200 yen here. I could go to the vending machine and buy a drink, or we could buy some Pokemon cards. And it was always Pokemon cards.
There's a one point where like I think it was so bad I can't believe we did it, but we scraped up all of our like 10 yen coins and stuff like that.
What we call this in the UK is shrapnel.
Shrapnel. It's the equivalent of going up to the cashier with pennies.
Yeah.
And being, hey, let's get this. We went up to that cashier in the Pokemon Center.
We sent one of our friends in with basically 2 handfuls of shrapnel, 10 yen or less. So 10 yen coins, 5 yen coins, and like single yen coins.
Yeah.
This poor cashier, like Japanese cashiers normally have this little tray you put the money on, and then they'll put your change on it. So like you don't have to exchange with your hands.
Yeah.
That thing was filled, and luckily they've got a machine that counts it all. They're like cash registers are something different. They're some future shit, right?
Yeah.
It's got like a little conveyor belt, and this poor woman had to just pour all this shit into this machine. I'm pretty sure another employee came over just to laugh at us because they could not believe that these gaijin were doing this.
It is absurd. Like, it's just because we had all of it left over. It literally was that.
Hey, but we came out with like 3 packets of Pokemon cards.
We did. And we also had this. Granted, this is between 5 people. This shrapnel was between 5 people. We have 3 packs of Pokemon cards, and then we were just stood there like, okay, so we've got to split this between us. So
Luckily, 2 of them didn't care. So 3 of us who did care got a packet each.
absurd, absolutely absurd.
It is. It's one of the dumber things we did that holiday.
Yeah, like that's pretty much summed up like a lot of our Akihabara side of stuff.
Well, see, that memory isn't even in Akihabara. That was in Yokohama.
That was in Yokohama. Yeah, that was in Yokohama. There, there's like we visited how many different Pokemon centers? It must have been
Let's see. We went to Skytree,
Skytree,
Sunshine City. We went
Yokohama.
to Yokohama, Kyoto. We only went to 4.
I think we hit up 4. We hit up 4 Pokemon centers.
Yeah, we only went to 4, but because the last week we were there, the second half of the trip when we were back in Tokyo, the place we stayed at was up the road from Skytree. Literally, it was round the corner, so we were in that Pokemon Center like every day.
It was, yeah, literally we get breakfast there, we'd go like get dinner there. That Skytree shopping mall was like pretty much where we spent a lot of our time in the second half of
Yeah, again, it's because it was right next to us, so why not? Like a lot of the things you would want and need are just right there, so why not?
There was like it had what was it? It had a Uniqlo there as well. So granted, I think at the time they had a range of One Piece t-shirts and they had a range of Monster Hunter t-shirts, I believe.
Yeah, and I think they had some Street Fighter ones that were on sale.
Yeah, that was it as well. There's quite a few different range of t-shirts. So again, if you show your passport in those places as well, you get like tax off.
Yeah.
So like
It's not always worth it though. The tax free for tourists, because you always think you'll save a lot of money and then it will come back, even though you spent the equivalent of, let's say, 30 quid, you'll get like £8 back.
Yeah.
Or something. Or it might not even be that. Like on my first trip when I went to Universal Studios, I spent, if it was 1-to-1, I spent £68 and I saved £4.
Yeah. It's
so in that instance, it's like, why did I tax break? Because that's basically nothing.
Yeah, so sometimes it's like depends how much you want to go for it.
True.
But yeah, there was that. There was also a jump store in Skytree as well. And I remember I bought a Dragon Ball tie.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you?
I got and at the time, Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer wasn't actually big at all. And I think it was like just a little bit of like is gaining popularity, but it wasn't massive.
Well, I think because the anime had it was either just coming out or just come out.
It hadn't even come out. That was the point where, like, I think it was just popular in the magazine, and that was it.
Oh, fair.
So it was literally one of those ones where I got a Demon Slayer cleaning cloth because that was literally all the Demon Slayer stuff they had. It was cleaning cloths and chopsticks. So
I will say though, to those fans who don't know, when you go to Japan, their idea of merchandise is different than your idea, right? Because you know, normally people think, oh yeah, I'm going to get loads of the figurines and stuff. Unless that franchise is super popular when you're there, you're not going to see a lot of figures, right? Mostly what they like are like keychains.
Oh, so many keychains. Yeah.
Chopsticks, acrylic stands. Like a lot of the stuff that over here we would just call trash.
Although I do remember the one I did lie. There's one other piece of Demon Slayer merch I did see. It was Tanjiro's box that he carries Nezuko in.
Oh yeah.
But it is a backpack version of that. But I think that cost like an absurd amount of money. It was only tiny as well. So I was like, it's impractical. It's a square backpack.
A lot of your typical Japanese merchandise, at least for those of us in the West, us in the UK, we'd call that tat.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of just really random stuff that you're just like, okay, like someone would buy me this because they know I like anime, but they don't know which one, and they just got me a keychain or something.
Yeah.
Or a bag hanger or something.
Oh, there's so many, yeah.
For a lot of us in the West, we have a misconception of what the merch is like over there. You get sorely disappointed. You will do, because I did.
You're either going to be finding stuff which is awesome, or it's going to be absolutely awful.
Yeah.
Like you gotta find the best thing or the worst thing.
You're either gonna go over there and be like, "Oh, cool, I got a T-shirt, a backpack, this, that, and the other," or you're gonna be like, "Why are there so many clear files? What the fuck is that about?"
Yeah. Oh my god, the clear files. So many clear files. I forgot about that.
Yeah, like you get stuff like that. It's like stationery and all this like random shit or badges or something, and I'm like, "That's cool if you're into that, but I'm not." A lot of this is just trash.
I remember when I went out the first time, as a big Nisekoi fan, and during the time where the second season of the anime was airing, I thought, oh, there's going to be loads of Nisekoi stuff about that. It's a popular anime at this point. It's got a second season and stuff. And I went over there, and I think the most Nisekoi stuff I could find at the time were literally, like you said, like keychains and like bag hangers and stuff like that. I think I only came away like with I think it was a CD set which I bought in Tower Records, which was like a Blu-ray sort of thing. And that was literally it. Like it's like you said, it's few and far between of what what you gonna get out there in terms of a fan. Like because again, there's so many anime out there as well.
Yeah, their cycle is like 100 times faster than ours as well.
Yeah, you be prepared is what we have to say about that. Like obviously when you're like Dragon Ball and One Piece stuff, like you go find stuff easily.
Yeah,
One Piece is fucking everywhere when you go out there.
One Piece seems timeless over there.
Yeah. Like I'll say this, like in my first trip to Japan, like literally every city I went to, every store had One Piece, something One Piece related in there.
It was the same when I first went as well.
But like this is the one thing. Like I in my first trip as well, I went to Koyasan, right? Which is up in the mountains. There was a temple there. Me and a friend stayed with some monks. And this Koyasan literally is devoid of any commercialization. It is literally it's like your old timey sort of Japanese village. There's there's a little bar that closes at like 8 o'clock at night. There's and that was literally the latest they opened. Like everything else closed at 5. And me and my friend were like, oh god, we got to find something to do. So we just we ended up like, although we were staying at the temple, we were also like, oh, it's quite early still. We want to do some stuff. And literally the whole city was closed by 5, apart from this one bar. But going back to what I was saying, this place is void of any commercialization. However, I went into this one gift shop, right? And there's no other anime stuff. Like this place is just like, it's just what you need. It's your groceries. It's your like maybe some knickknacks. That's it. Religious stuff. However, One Piece still exists in this uncommercialized place. I found a religious Luffy like bag hanger. That is granted, it was the only One Piece related thing I found out. Well, only anime related thing I found out there. But it was Luffy with some prayer beads.
Oh my god!
And I was like, why is this here? Well, if like One Piece cannot like Japan cannot escape One Piece. That is one thing, and it was just there. I don't think I'll ever be able to find it again. This One Piece bag hanger, but it existed. One Piece, no matter where you go, One Piece will find you.
Yeah, again, in Japan, at least for now, it's like the timeless thing. Even the first trip I took, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was still in all commercial areas, mostly in Tokyo and a little bit of Osaka, but like it was still everywhere that I went.
Yeah.
You can't escape One Piece. Although it was cool going to the Mugiwara store, the One Piece store in Shibuya. That was cool.
That was cool.
It's more like somewhere to go and look.
I don't know. Well, the first time I went, I think the Mugiwara store is closed now, I believe, isn't it? Or at least relocated, if not. But when I went there, I remember I bought a One Piece tie, I believe, which was a 2D 3Y tie, so a reference to the time skip. And it's one of my favorite ties of all time.
I mean, the first time I went there, I bought you a tie because you asked me to.
Yeah, you bought me the only tie that was available, I feel, which was the Trafalgar Law one.
Yeah, there were like 2, and one of them looked crap, so I just bought you the nicest one.
So I don't know how it's happened, but every time one of us has been to Japan, Pepe gets a tie out of it. And honestly, I don't even wear like I don't know. I'm wearing a few more suits than I used to. That's a thing that comes out of Japan, Pepe ties, or some sort of fashion. Anyway, I realized we talked about Tokyo quite a bit, and we've mentioned some other places we've been to. Like so, let's just list off where we've actually been to in Japan, just so people actually know where we've been.
Cool.
On our trip, we went to Tokyo,
Kanazawa, which is round the east side, the east coast.
Yes, yeah, it's a lot quieter Kanazawa. It's a really lovely place.
Oh, it's super nice. It's like a smaller city. It's like, I don't want to say up and coming, but like I guess not many people go there at the moment, but
No,
they should. It's really, really nice there.
they really don't. I think I just like it's such a difference compared to Tokyo though, because Tokyo is very much like, oh, it's busy city. Everyone's trying to get somewhere. It's like the equivalent of London, just like it's all very busy. It's all very move, move, move.
Well, it's because Tokyo is the concrete jungle, whereas Kanazawa is a city, but it's also steeped in history. They've got the geisha district, and it used to be a samurai town.
Yeah.
So there's still quite a lot of historical buildings that were once occupied by samurai way back when. Like even our Airbnb host is from a samurai family.
Oh man, he was so cool.
Oh
That
yeah,
Airbnb was so lovely as well.
he was awesome. He was so good. He was so nice to us, and his place was really nice.
Hmm.
And right across the street from a bunch of samurai houses.
Yeah, it was really cool. I really enjoyed that. Like it was a small city. It wasn't that busy either, which was just lovely. It was just
Yeah, but you still had enough nightlife.
100%. Yeah, we did. We went to a few bars and restaurants, didn't we?
Yeah, we went to izakaya, and there were plenty on the way to the center of town from our Airbnb.
Yeah.
I do remember that one night we went to the izakaya and we came back, and for some reason we decided to West Side Story our way down the street, and we scared the shit out of some Japanese woman. We didn't even notice. One of our friends was like, "Did you see that woman dash down that street?"
A bit more story to that. So basically, it is a dark alleyway, very dim lighting right now, and is at the time it was four of us, like all roughly like above 5'10", all of us are, and we were like, oh, they had a few bits to drink, and we were just like, hey, let's do the finger clicking thing.
Yeah.
And literally, it's four people in a row walking, and this woman turns in and she looks at us while we're doing the finger clicking. And she just turns. And I feel so sorry for that woman, but it's like literally four foreigners just walking towards her, clicking
Oh
fingers.
god.
It's a surreal thing. No one expects to see that in a dark alleyway. Even in the UK, you wouldn't expect to see that. Nowhere would. But yeah, that's a bit of context in Kanazawa.
We did more than just freak out locals there, but that was probably one of the most memorable things we did.
That was good. As well in Kanazawa, gotta mention we visited to we made a little visit to Kenrokuren Park,
Yeah.
which is at the time, I don't know if it still is, but it was rated the third most beautiful garden in Japan.
I do have to admit, it was pretty bloody beautiful when we went.
We were blessed by good weather as well. Like we were blessed
Oh,
by
yeah.
good weather the whole time we were in Japan. Like May time, it was like sort of still considered quite cold over there at that time, even though it was 22 degrees, and that's pretty much our like spring summer weather for us lot. Like, but
I mean, when we went, at least when we went in Kanazawa, I think most days it averaged the high 20s, low 30s.
yeah, and that's like not even the highest. Like sometimes, like we're in peak summer in Japan, it is roasting.
Oh, my first trip to Japan was in the summer, like towards the tail end of summer. I think I went like July, August time. God, man,
So yeah,
that was a nightmare.
yeah. I can only imagine how hot it gets out there, and I do not envy that.
Yeah, I mean, like my first trip, I think the temperatures in Tokyo averaged about 36 to 37 degrees.
Oh, God, that's
Celsius, by the way, for Americans who use Fahrenheit, 36 Celsius.
So yeah, that's it's pretty hot. But yeah, so yeah, we were blessed by good weather the whole time. I think it was raining like a couple of days,
Yeah, when we were in Kyoto, it rained a couple of times. It got a bit humid, but not too bad.
but that's a good thing about Japan though, because even if it starts raining, like pissing it down, you can go into a small little shop and buy an umbrella for what is 100 yen, and you don't even care if you lose it. Because it's all the transparent umbrella. Like umbrellas in Japan, I feel like you can just leave it somewhere and someone else will take it.
Yeah, but that's also a weird, like, minor crime as well. Like, people just don't think too much about umbrellas over there, so people just tend to grab whatever they see. But, you know, some people in Japan have, like, fancy umbrellas that they paid for, like UV and all that pattern they like, and it's like a weird minor crime.
I mean, you'd hope that no one's taking the good umbrellas. Like you know, like for a fact that those clear, the see-through ones, you know, someone's picked it up in like a 7-Eleven for like literally dirt cheap. So
Yeah.
I feel like you, if you're gonna take an umbrella that isn't yours or you mistake it, like it's go for the clear ones. Don't like. Well, I'm not advocating stealing, especially not in Japan. I feel like it's like any crime in Japan, you're gonna get like done
Oh,
for.
if you're a foreigner in Japan, then you don't do any crime or get near any crime because the police are gonna nick you first before anyone else.
Yeah, like just like do what you just be an upstanding citizen. That's all you have to do. Just be a normal person in Japan. Don't fucking do mad stuff. But yeah, like just like clear umbrellas. They're 100 yen. You can find them in a random convenience store. Just
Or you can be like me and in Kyoto walk around with an umbrella open, but still walk around in your shorts because it was supposed to be hot that day, and walk into the convenience store to buy an ice cream and have everyone stare at you down the street because you're a madman in the cold water eating ice cream.
it's so hard to tell what the weather's gonna be like because that was the one thing we were out there. Although we were blessed by good weather majority of the time, we were prepared for the good weather a lot of the time as well.
Yeah.
So when it started raining unexpectedly, you would just be in your shorts, like, okay, shit, what am I gonna do?
I think the main point was that I was walking down the street and it was cold that day. I did feel cold, but we walked into a convenience store and I went, oh, I'm just gonna buy a coolish.
Yeah, coolish is fine. Like, coolish is good. This is one thing about convenience stores as well. There's so many cool random bits in there. Like I came out with like I went to so many different convenience stores, and every time I came out with karage. I think you can vouch for this that I definitely had a fried chicken skewer every single day when I was out in Japan.
Yeah, I wasn't much better though. I was right next to you with a jumbo American dog, as they call it, or a corn dog. Me and Pepe ate terribly on purpose, though.
Yeah, at the same time, I think we were like this from the start. Like before we went out there, we were like, my main goal wasn't even to buy like merchandise or games or whatever. My main goal for saving up was I want to eat as much delicious food as possible,
Yeah, so
and I'm just gonna do that. All my money's going on food.
all my money basically went on junk food because I was like, Japanese junk food just tastes different. I like it.
It's so good. Like if you're in the UK, right, and you saw fried chicken in a convenience store in like your local corner shop, you'd be like, I'm not eating that.
I'm not touching. Yeah, I ain't eating that.
I'm gonna get salmonella from that. But Japanese convenience stores hit different because you can get fries, you can get chicken, you can get jumbo dogs, you can get any. You can literally buy a whole chicken fillet in like fried chicken in like convenience store. No one will bat an eyelid. Like you just eat that stuff. Like croquettes, they're there. Like chicken. There's like was it all like chicken fries?
They'll even give you hot water for your cup noodle that you bought there and then.
It's like they hit different, man. You can buy like you can live off convenience store food in Japan.
And I
I
did.
wouldn't recommend it, but like
I lived off a lot of convenience store stuff the first time and the second time that I went with. Like, it's just it's in the name. It's convenient, right? Like,
yeah.
and they've got all the staples there, and you go in there, you get your rice bowl, you get your fucking crisps or whatever, and you get your ice cream or your desserts and your drinks. Like, they got everything.
Yeah. Oh God, remember when we were I think it was like our first day when we got in Japan or like the second day. And we were like, oh, let's get some drinks, let's get some alcohol in, right? And we just saw these cans that look like it's like orange, like
Oh,
a alcoholic orange thing. And it was like they're like pretty big cans as well. It's not like tiny cans. And we got back to the Airbnb and we sat there and looked and it was like, it's 13% in this one can.
you took it.
Uh,
Yeah, the strong zeros. Like,
Yeah, strong zero. And like we looked at it like, did we mean to pick this up? Did we know how strong this was gonna be?
I've had strong zero before that. I had strong zero in my first trip,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize that was a strong zero. I think that was a different brand, but it was the same thing.
Yeah. But it was like I remember opening it and drinking it. I was like, this tastes like orange, but you can definitely taste the alcohol in this as well. And it was like borderline paint stripper.
Yeah.
In that thing. And like I drank the whole thing, and I'm pretty sure because I ate so much fried food as well, I was pretty much fine after it. I don't think I know for a fact that like you were zonked out every evening.
Yeah, but that's because on that trip, I lived a completely different life, right? We would go to bed a bit earlier than I normally would, and we'd get up way earlier than I ever get up, right?
Yeah.
We'd get up at like 9 o'clock every day, whereas in my average life, I would get up at like 1 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's every day we would get up and have a full day of adventure. We were non-stop, right? We were always on the go. We were always doing something, always going somewhere, which is the complete opposite to my everyday life where I get up and I go to work, or I get up and then I go and do some stuff on the computer and I don't go anywhere. So that, yeah, every day we'd come back, I'd have loads of fun. But as soon as my head hit that pillow, I was out.
I remember you telling me before we went there, you're like, oh, I usually just watch YouTube while I sleep or whatever. So I thought, like, because we were sharing a room, I think it was in Kanazawa. Like, I was just like, oh, okay, he's probably gonna like be awake for like, I don't know, 20 minutes or half an hour or an hour or whatever, and then he'll fall asleep. I remember I got into bed like after brushing my teeth. And you were gone. Like I left you for 5 minutes, and you were gone. Like you was like.
The thing was, I remember one of our first nights in Tokyo. You, me, and our friend was sharing a room, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I remember we had to discuss something about the next morning.
No, it was the Pokemon. You remember when we were trying to get those Pokemon Go tickets for one of our?
Oh yeah, that was it. That was it.
It was like for like a Pokemon Go Safari event somewhere. It wasn't the UK. It was like I think it
was
our
like in
friend's
Germany or
friend.
something. Yeah, our friend needed it.
Yeah, we weren't going, but like,
and we were helping him, and I was barely awake that whole time. And as soon as we were like confirmed, got it, I was out. I put my phone down and I just fell asleep.
You were gone in a minute. Like me and my mate were just like, oh, okay, yeah, he's just gone. Literally less than a minute. Your head hit the pillow.
I think I was out within the second I turned over to go to sleep. Like all I remember was I put my phone down, and then next thing I know, I'm awake. It's the next morning. I had no idea what happened in between.
I remember like that was the evening though that I think it might have been before we had to go to Kanazawa because we were in Tokyo at the time. Oh, it might have been a different night. But I got up in the middle of the night, right? And in the Airbnb, I was just like, oh, I'm thirsty. I want to go get a drink or whatever. Me being the fucking Western guy, I was like, oh, I'll just get a drink from the tap or whatever. And literally, I get up, go get a drink from the tap, drink it, put the glass down, try and go back to sleep. I think within the next half hour, I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to throw up.
Oh, God.
Literally, I think I like the tap water basically fucked me up because it's just like force of habit, just drink from the tap, and that affected me for the whole of the next half day in Kanazawa as well because I think we were getting the bullet train. I was not in a good way.
Oh, that explains so much. Yeah, no, because I did feel like I was like, hey, something's wrong with you, but I don't know. I thought maybe you just didn't sleep well or something.
No, I did not. I was not in a good way. I remember I bought my stuff, which was I think someone gave me like some sort of paracetamol or something. I was getting there. I was on the road to recovery, but I was in a shit way. Luckily, train station food did help me because I had my soba sandwich. I had a bottle of Pocari Sweat.
Oh God.
And I had my chip stars, and that's all I needed, and that was good. You don't like Pocari Sweat, do you? Like,
I don't like Pocari Sweat or Chip Stars. Chip Stars is like a Japanese like knockoff Pringles, and they're not as good. And Pocari Sweat is just weird.
I don't know how it happened, but like Pocari Sweat, I always just go for it, man. Like I had it on my first trip, and I was obsessed. I was like, any like random vending machine that sold it, 100 yen or 150 yen or whatever, pop that in, get my bottle of Pocari Sweat, sorted.
See, I did that on my first trip because you had talked about it so much, and I was like, cool, I'll try this thing. And I was stood at the local train station, and there it was in the vending machine. It was a hot ass day, right? I think it was like 37 degrees or something, beaming, no clouds. I'm like, oh, Pepe said this Pocari Sweat stuff's good. Went and bought one. Instant regret. I was like, man, never. By this point in time in my first trip, I had not experienced wasting money in Japan yet. I was like, everything is a hit. That was the first miss, and I was so disappointed because I had to keep drinking this thing because the train had just arrived, and I was like, I'm now stuck with this until I get to Shibuya. And the whole time I was cursing your name, I was like, what the fuck is Pepe talking about? This stuff is gross. What is this?
I love that. That's such a good fact. But however, okay, let's go the complete opposite in terms of drinks options, right? Because I never had peach water when I was out the first time.
Oh God. Okay, yeah, here we go. This is the first thing I bought on the second trip.
Yeah, like literally, this is like us going from the airport to our Airbnb.
It's literally we haven't even left the airport yet. Like, we're literally going to the platform
Yeah.
of the train station at the airport, and I happened to see Iloha's peach flavored water in the vending machine. And I had it on my first trip, so I knew it was good.
Because you had it, and then one of our other friends took your like option. He was like, oh, "Okay, cool, I'll get that as well." So, and then everyone ended up with peach water. Like everyone ended up having it because they were like, "Oh my god, this is so good." And honestly, I agree with you. That peach water was incredible. Like that is like one of the best drinks.
I don't regret that peach water ever. And on our
Yeah.
second trip, you could often see me with 2 bottles, one in my hand and one on my bag for when I finished the one in my hand.
I was good. I was alternating between that sort of thing. Like if like my drinks in Japan were literally, it's either gonna be peach water, it's gonna be Pocari Sweat, or if in the evening I'm gonna go for a choya, which is umeshu.
Yeah, God, you drank a lot of choya. I had a lot of chuhais.
Yeah, in the evening, like it would just be one of those ones where like when we're done with for the day, we're like, let's get some alcohol in.
Yeah, we always went to the konbini to get some drinks.
Yeah. Those little cans of choya, the umeshu is just like, yes, spot on. Love that. And yeah, what was the chuhai again? What kind of alcohol is chuhai?
Chuhai is basically in the UK we call them alco pops. So they're like
Yeah,
4%, very fruity. You can barely taste the alcohol. So I'd always buy a couple of them, different flavors. Like, and Japan just knows how to do fruit flavored things. So
it does. Yeah, I don't know what kind of sugar they're putting in that, but like, it's sugary and they taste good, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Again, we're on holiday, so we're not going to be like looking out for our waistline or whatever.
clearly not, because again, like we said before, like along with the peach water, none of these people that like Pepe and the other friends that went with me the second time, apparently none of you had tried Corlish before.
Oh yeah.
And I ate copious amounts of Corlish the first and second time. I lived off of Corlish, right? So the second time when I'm with Pepe, I'm like, have you guys had this stuff? Like, it's really good. It sounds bad on paper, right? Because you explain it and it's ice cream in a packet. And that sounds terrible because in every other country, that would be god awful.
Yeah.
But some reason, Corlish is amazing.
Is it actually ice cream?
Yeah.
Because when I had it, I didn't realize it was ice cream. I thought it was like it's a very slushy.
So it's soft serve, but in a bag.
I didn't realize that because I mainly had the lemon coolish, right?
Oh yeah, that one is I think Matsuya cider flavor.
Yeah. So if anything, I thought it was like I related it more to a slush puppy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think because the fruit flavored ones are a little more like a slushy, because even the pineapple one, the one I ate the most and the best one.
The pineapple one was good. Yeah, that was a good one.
Right, that one was also kind of like a slushy, but it's actually soft serve. It's closer to soft serve.
Okay, going off like more food stuff. I'm going to debunk one of the myths that everyone like goes on about in Japan and the UK, right?
Okay.
Because everyone like before I went to Japan, everyone's like, "Oh my god, KFC is so good out in Japan. It's so good. It's like the best thing ever."
Oh god, no, it's not.
It really, like, honestly, like the fact that they go to KFC for a Christmas dinner is, I understand why, because it's a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
But literally, if you say that KFC is better in Japan than it is here,
You don't know what you're talking about.
you're wrong. Because granted, KFC here is like, I wouldn't class it as amazing food anyway. It's decent if you want just some fast food fried chicken.
Yeah.
But like this KFC, right, that I went to, it might have been my single experience. I don't think it is. I got a drumstick from there, and I had a like typical burger stuff, and it was like okay at best.
Yeah.
Like that was some greasy chicken, you know. Like I was not like KFC's greasy normally. This was extra greasy. It's like the grease is like peeking through the fucking paper bag, and I'm like, I don't like this. Like, I did not have a good.
And it's expensive.
I did not have a good experience there. Yeah, for what it was, definitely not worth it.
It was like smaller than what we normally have in the UK, and I think almost twice the price.
Yeah.
And you waited forever for it as well. It just KFC in Japan was not good. I 100% with you on that.
Yeah, I doubt it was just the Skytree branch either, because like the Skytree at the end of the day, they're gonna have a good KFC.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know any other branch of KFC in Japan though. I swear I only ever really saw it at Skytree.
There's one in Akihabara, and it has the kernel outside. It's quite a famous one, I think.
Is it? I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, it's like down one of the side streets. I think it's not too far from.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I probably didn't see it when I was going down there.
But yeah, there was that. There was like again, like we tried these different places just because it's Japanese versions of them. So we had a McDonald's feast as well. So we tried a lot of the random McDonald's stuff out in Japan.
Yeah, it was pretty standard. McDonald's is McDonald's everywhere around the world.
Yeah, I don't think it was like I'd put it on the same level. It's cool
Yeah.
to have the other bits. I wouldn't be like, oh my god, you have to go to Japanese McDonald's. It's amazing. It's like it's just a typical McDonald's. Like if you go to Spain McDonald's, you gotta have like a weird different things every now and then. But
The only thing for McDonald's, and this goes for anywhere in the world, the only reason I'd say go to McDonald's wherever you go in the world is just to eat the items that aren't in your home country.
100%, yeah.
That's it. Because they've got different stuff all over the place. And in Japan, we had like ebi burgers and stuff, like prawn burgers and all.
Yeah.
We tried all the stuff that wasn't available to us in the UK, but that's what I feel like you should do.
It's like typical McDonald's stuff, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
there's a shaka shaka chicken and stuff like that, which is basically chicken and they give you some powder.
Yeah.
And it's like not dubious powder, I must say. Here's some cocaine with your fried chicken, good sir. No, it's like a cheese powder, or I think you can get paprika powder.
Yeah.
And you basically put your chicken in a bag, you fold it over with pour the powder in, fold it over, you shake it, and then it's chicken covered in cheese flavor or whatever flavor.
Yeah. Or like your typical like chicken teriyaki burger or something.
Yeah. It's standard stuff. It's like, yeah, it's okay, it's okay.
It's McDonald's. It's what you expect, but still try it.
Although I feel like one of my best dining experiences in Japan, the first time I went and the second time I went, was it's a ramen bar in Kyoto.
Oh yeah, that place was so good, that Kyoto Ramen Bar. It's Wajo Ryomen Sugari.
Yes. And like honestly, if anyone goes to Japan, I always recommend them if they're going to Kyoto to try this place, because honestly, like the queue outside, it's so hidden as well. Like the door is about 4 foot tall, so if you you have to crouch down to get in.
When Pepe took me to this place, when Pepe and our friend took me, I thought we were walking into somebody's house or someone's garden because it does look like you're just walking through someone's back door or whatever.
The only signage that this is a ramen place is literally one of those like small signs that they put outside doorways, and that was it. It has no like big sign on the restaurant or whatever. It's like you just go into this place, right?
Yeah, I do appreciate though that they've got one of those ordering machines
Oh yeah.
where you just buy the tickets, and it does have English option as well, so you don't have to freak out.
So yeah, you walk into this restaurant, you put your order in through the machine, and granted, this restaurant is tiny as well.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting and eating your ramen, you've literally got like maybe 12, 15 people max in the restaurant.
Yeah. And you're basically like, it's just a bar pretty much, and you're just sat with whoever's there at the time. They ask you how many people in your party, quote unquote. And if it's too many at the time, you have to wait. A lot of the single diners will get to go first. It was also important to note, they don't just serve ramen there. We had the option to get tsukimen, which is noodles on the side with the thick broth, and you could dip this into the thing. Had I known that, I would have tried that, but I went for the standard ramen. I think you went for the standard ramen as well, didn't you?
Yeah, because that's what I had last time. But the Sukimen is actually what they're famous for.
Dude,
Which
man.
I think like I should have gone for the Sukimen, but I had the ramen last time and I knew what I was getting was going to be awesome, so I just kept it like.
Oh man, the thing is, after we came back, I learned what tsukimen or skimen is, and knowing that I went to a place that served skimen and I didn't try it really bums me out.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that like granted, I had a brilliant experience at that restaurant regardless. I think it's the best like ramen I've ever had.
Yeah, I could easily agree with that. That was the best ramen that I've had.
Yeah, because like basically they have like 3 menu options basically, and what you do is like you customize what else you want in it.
Yeah.
So like I had like extra beef in mine and stuff, and I had like a boiled egg. Boiled egg?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what you had in your one, if you had much different.
I think I did the same.
Yeah.
I think I pretty much all my extra was the egg actually,
Yeah.
because I think I just wanted to try what a standard bowl was like.
But that was honestly highly recommend this restaurant, or like I'd recommend anyone to go there.
Oh yeah, definitely. If I was ever in Kyoto again, I'd go there again.
Yeah, we've also been to an Indian in Kyoto. We went to an Indian restaurant, which is quite fun.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't so impressed with that choice that night, just because.
Were you not?
No, well, because my thinking is, right, We've flown across the world. We could
Yeah.
have gone to all these other restaurants, and for some reason, we went to an Indian curry,
Yeah.
which the UK is known for, and they basically serve all the same things. I ate the same thing I have back home, so I just flew across the world to have the same thing I could have eaten at home.
I think mainly did it for the meme. I think that was it. It was just like, oh, it's an Indian in Japan.
Okay, well, see, that's an inside joke meme between you and our friend who went your first time. But again, that night I was just like, I'm not impressed. I'm pretty sure I was audibly and visibly annoyed.
Okay, I had a good time. I thought food was good.
Although, that was one of the only downsides. Like in Kyoto, we also went for okonomiyaki. That was great.
That was so good. That was a good okonomiyaki. That was a good one.
Yeah, and like that was the night we went karaoke as well. Always some standard Japanese fun.
You sang fucking Deja Vu there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Or running through the 90s,
yeah. No, it was Deja Vu. I tried to, at least. I sort of started running out of breath, and also my throat was dry because I was drinking too much beer.
Yeah. The drink just kept on coming, that karaoke place. That was great.
Like that was a fun night as well. Like we did a lot of stuff like that. Like also in Kyoto, we went to Fushimi Inari.
Yes, we did.
That's pretty standard. I almost died there.
Yeah, it's a big hike up a mountain.
Yeah,
but it's nice. I enjoyed it. It's good considering we were just full of convenience store food.
Also, that day we were not blessed with good weather. Do you remember? That was the day we went to. We just arrived. We dropped our stuff off at the Airbnb. It was raining and humid. None of us were dressed for climbing a mountain.
Nah.
And we did the 2-hour hike up there. Like I said, I almost died up there because there's not a lot of vending machines and stuff, and every checkpoint or like rest area is just filled with people because it is tiring, and no one expects it to be that tiring.
Yeah, the further up you go up the mountain, like the less people you'll find. But also there are some vending machines, but they charge double the price for drinks.
Yeah.
So you'll end up spending like, what was it, 300, 400 yen on a drink?
Yeah.
Like, so it's and when you spend your whole time buying drinks for 100 yen or like 150, you're like,
yeah, you don't want to fork out double.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. But no, that was a good time. I enjoyed that. There's loads of gates there, which is nice.
Yeah, that's a pretty standard thing to do though as a tourist. Like most people know about Fushimi Inari, even if they don't know the name. It's the mountain with all the red gates going up it.
Yeah, that's a vibe. I quite like that. Although, yeah, as you said, the weather wasn't blessed for us. We also went to a monkey park in Kyoto.
Yeah, dude, the monkey park was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. Like it's basically you go up there, you pay for some nuts and fruit and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and you go into a little hut where you can feed monkeys through the mesh wire and stuff, and yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, that was it. It was a nice view. That day was also I think a tiny bit overcast, but it hadn't rained yet.
No, it's still humid. It was like that's the one thing. Even on those overcast days, it was humid as hell. So
yeah,
you wear light clothing, but somewhat protective. Bring an umbrella with you.
What else did we do? We went to in the same sort of area, not quite Kyoto. We went to Nara as well. We went to that deer sanctuary, essentially deer park.
Yeah, and
that was actually pretty cool.
That was cute. It's really nice because you can there's hundreds and hundreds of deer there. And they'll be chilling, and you can feed them crackers, but you have to, or biscuits even. But before you do that, you have to nod, and then they'll nod back, and then they give them the biscuit.
Although it is funny thinking like we did that, and then when everything happened to the world, all the articles about those deers, like who were so used to people being around feeding them, that when all the people disappeared, they took over the city to look for food.
So it's literally like there's like apocalypse kind of stories, but yeah, that's funny though. Like the deer are like, we can expand.
Well, it's because they're just hungry, innit? Like when you're there, they're kind of docile, minus the ones that would like sort of lightly headbutt you to give them food, even though you got nothing. But like that was cool to see. Like once you've been there and you're just sort of like, man, they were so nice though. To think that they would take over a city and just start rampaging because there's no food is hilarious to me.
Yeah, that was good. There's also a temple there as well where it has like
oh yeah, that was
you remember what it was?
That's one of, I think, I can't remember what it's called, but that's one of the four famous Buddha statues in Japan, I believe. Like there's four like super huge famous ones, and that was one of them.
Yeah, that's really cool. Apologies, I can't remember the name of it, but we're sure I'll put it.
Yeah, that was oversight on our end.
Watch the name here. Go check it out. But yeah, there's that. Also, forgot to mention that when we were in Tokyo, obviously we went to Yokohama,
Yeah, we went to the Cup Noodle Museum.
Cup Noodle Museum, which was fun. I love that. That was a good little, good little time out there.
That was a fun little excursion. We did the custom cup noodles as well.
Yeah, made our own cup noodles.
We paid to do that. Yeah, I still have mine.
I still have mine as well. I haven't opened it. It's like anyone that comes into my flat will probably look at this. It's on my shelf as well. So if anyone comes down and sits down, like, there's a pot noodle there. And I was like, it's not just any pot noodle.
I customize that one. Thank you very much.
It's my, yeah, I'm pretty sure what's in mine. I believe there is curry flavored with, it's got spices in it. Like dried chilies and stuff like that, chili flakes, and I think there's cheese in there as well. So it's spicy cheese curry.
I think mine was curry, egg, beef, and I don't remember. Maybe cheese as well, actually, because I think you could put 3 toppings and 1 powder.
Yeah. I know for a fact that if apocalypse ever happens and I'm like, oh my god, I need to eat something. Like, I have no food left. I'll have to open up the cup noodle.
I don't recommend that. I was pretty sure when we were there, they were like, eat within a month. So now it's like 3 years old.
Definitely did tell us to eat within a month. They definitely did tell us to eat in a month. But cup noodles are cup noodles. I'm pretty sure you can eat them whenever. So,
I'm sure you could, but I wouldn't recommend eating a 3-year-old one.
no, I'm going to do it when the apocalypse happens. And granted, this is 3 years old right now. Apocalypse hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So eventually when the apocalypse does happen and I've run out of food, there we go. Who knows? It might be 10 years at that point. It might be 20 years. Who knows?
Oh, God.
Food's food, Nathan. You can't be stingy in the apocalypse.
That is true, but at the same time, okay. I'm just gonna I'm gonna stop this topic now because this is concerning.
Is there any other key points that we feel like we need to like?
I do want to mention one weird thing that happened to me whilst you weren't around.
Oh yeah.
So earlier I mentioned I was hanging around Akihabara without Pepe.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what had happened is the group wanted to go and eat, but I wasn't hungry, so I decided to go off on my own. As I was walking around on my own, I'd just come out of a secondhand store buying a unboxed copy of Pokemon Green. A man walked up to me, started speaking in Japanese. I said to him, sorry, I'm not Japanese, I don't speak Japanese. He said, oh, where are you from? I speak English. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm from England. And he's like, we had a bit of a conversation. He was telling me his time in England. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then he went, my friend, why don't you come to my business? And I was like, what do you do? He's like, oh, you'll love it. He gets his phone out and he starts scrolling. And I noticed between normal photos of, food and stuff, and there's all of these sort of like glamour shots.
Uh-huh.
And now I'm getting kind of concerned, because you're like, what is this guy trying to proposition me? He then goes, you'll have a great time at my massage parlor. My employees are really good. They're going to make sure you have a great time. And because you're my friend, I'm going to make sure you have the best time. He tried to get me to go to a Happy Times massage parlor, a happy ending massage parlor. And I just turned around like probably red in the face and was like, I need to go meet some people. I was just stopping off real quick. Thank you for the invite and it was nice meeting you, but I need to go.
Thank you for the invite. Love that. Absolutely love that. I've had a very similar experience the first time I was there, because I think I might have told you this before. But me and my friend who we went, so when we went for the first time, it was just me and my friend, and his cousin was out there as well that lived in Japan, and they were showing us around, and we were walking through, I think it might have been in Shinjuku or somewhere, I can't remember exactly the place now, but we ended up going through a red light district.
Oh god.
Like just passing through. Weren't there for any specific reason. We're just passing through to get to another place. And this guy comes up to me and my friend, and he's like, "Oh, you're English." I'm going to stop doing the accent because that's very culturally inappropriate. I realize what I'm doing now. And he's, "Oh, you're English," and we're like, "Yeah." He's like, "I know, you're very big penis, very big penis." And we're like, "Okay." And he basically he had a girl with him, and he's like, "Oh, she could be yours. She'd be yours. Like, come in." And we were just like, nah. Realized that he's in a suit, right, the red light district. So like no confirmation that he's Yakuza right now.
Well, most
But
likely he is. If he's Red District, like Red Light District in a suit, has a random woman standing near him, and he's offering, it's probably Yakuza.
yeah, but it's like, and we were just like, nah, we're moving past this. Like classic British guys, I was just, oh, maybe not. Like, see ya. But there's that, and another like little random like off topic sort of thing, a bit more lighthearted, a little bit less red, blue.
Okay.
We my first trip, I went to a maid cafe.
Oh, you've actually been to a maid cafe.
I've been to maid cafes. I think it's Maid Dreamin' is called or something. It was like one of the more popular chain ones, and we did it just like because it's our first time in Japan. We just wanted to tick it off
Yeah.
and go there. But we went in, and granted, it's the middle of the day on a Thursday or something like that,
Okay.
and the people that were in there, so we had to go up the stairs to get to this maid cafe, and the people that were in there were other tourists who like the same as us, like literally just like there for the experience.
Yeah.
But then there's them, and then there's 40-year-old Japanese men that have come there by themselves, and you're like, oh, okay, you can see why the tourists are here, but you can also clearly see why the middle-aged Japanese men are here. And I didn't want any food away. We just stopped in to see the experience was like. So me and my friend just ordered drinks. But there's people that you can get like an omurice meal and stuff, and they come over.
Yeah, isn't that quite standard where they then like draw a heart with a ketchup or some shit like?
Yeah, it's the heart of the ketchup, and they'll sing with you. So they bless your meal. So they do the little heart sign, and they do the kawaii dance, and they're like, "Hey, here's this thing."
Oh man, Takeshi-san must have been having the time of his life.
He definitely was. Like, I think there's certain amounts you can pay to have pictures with the maids and stuff like that as well. There's like packages you can buy CDs. Me and my mate were just sitting there with our drinks, like, oh, we'll go in about 5-10 minutes or whatever. And then one of the maids comes over and hands us glow sticks, and we're like, okay. And then the lights go down. Granted, it's in the middle of the day as well, so there's still sun blaring through the window. But we have these glow sticks, so it's basically like sitting in a room midday that's facing away from the sun. We can still see the daylight coming through the windows. And they're like, it's time for an idol performance. And we're like, okay. And they're like, everyone put your glow sticks up. Granted, there's 10 people right now in this restaurant. At least 4 to 6 of them are tourists. So we're like, okay. And then they start performing. And they start doing like, there's about 5 of them on their little stage doing a little dance and stuff. Like, yeah, throw your glow sticks in the air, like put your glow sticks up. And me and my mate were just awkward British people that were just here for a Coke. So we're just there like, yay. This isn't our vibe whatsoever. If I was drunk, I'm pretty sure I'd be having the time of my life.
Oh, you might be on stage with them, for all I know.
Yeah, exactly. You see my karaoke performances.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those random things, and like, because we were about to leave, but we got handed these glow sticks, and like, stay for the performance and stuff.
That reminds me of do you remember one last story, I guess, when we were in Harajuku and we went to go get dinner?
Yes.
And we happened to walk past like a small boy band performance, and it was just the noisiest thing we'd ever experienced, because literally all of their fans were there, but this was in a small like food court.
Yeah, it was, weren't it? It was a food court,
and it was just filled with all these Japanese teenagers who must have just got off of school or something.
Yeah, and it wasn't just teenagers. There's like middle-aged women there as well, or about women in their like late 20s, early 30s as well.
Yeah,
there's a big mix of people there, but it's like a little boy band. It's like a budget BTS.
Yeah, but we were these foreigners there to get like takoyaki, and I'm pretty sure that's where you guys said there were kebab sushi. So we were like, oh, cool, let's go and try that. And there was just this random boy band performance there too.
Yeah, I remember that, and I remember one of the lyrics was sang in English.
Is it?
And it was add me on Snapchat.
Oh my god!
And they sang it like, add me on Snapchat, and, that was the only thing I could take away from that performance. I was like,
I wonder if we can find that band based off of that one lyric.
I've got like the video on my phone. I don't have the Snapchat performance, sadly, but Yeah, that is a thing.
We might have to look up and see if we can find that band later and put it on screen if we can find it.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure we could talk all day about more experiences in Japan because I don't think I think we could talk about so much more.
Yeah,
But it's going on for a bit now, and we could do it in another video.
maybe.
I'm pretty sure we could do it. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah. Anything else, Nathan? Anything else you want to say?
No, I would just say Japan is mostly the things you imagine it to be, but it's also it's not always as magical as people imagine. So if you do somehow manage to go in the future, temper your expectations just a little bit, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, but also I think I've had 2 trips there and I've had a great time both times. And like, yeah, I'd recommend that. I would say I recommend it, but currently borders are closed, so go there when you can.
Yeah, go whenever you can. I also recommend it. I'm also planning a future trip, so more stories to come, I guess, if that ever pans out.
Who knows? Yeah, hopefully one day when COVID isn't as big of a deal.
Yeah.
Nice one. Okay then. Well, thank you for listening, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Tell us about your Japan journeys if you've been there, like where you'd recommend. Like when Nathan goes on his next trip, maybe he'll take your suggestions.
Yeah, maybe I will.
I'm not speaking on behalf of it, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, leave a comment, and also we're on all podcast platforms, so check us out there. Give us a listen, you know. And yeah, thank you. The links in the description. See you later. Bye.
Bye.